Now, when I speak of silence, I do not merely refer to the absence of sound, though that is certainly a part of it. No, the silence I speak of is far more profound, far more transformative. It is the silence of the mind, the stillness of the soul, the quiet that precedes all creation. In this world of constant noise and chatter, where every moment seems filled with the clamor of thoughts and the din of external stimuli, we have forgotten the power that lies in silence. We have forgotten that it is in the depths of silence that we connect with our true selves, with the divine within us, with the very source of all creation. Consider for a moment the words of Scripture, "Be still and know that I am God." These words are not a mere suggestion, my dear friends. They are a command, the key to unlocking the infinite potential that resides within each and every one of you. For it is in that stillness, in that silence, that we come to know our true nature, our oneness with the divine. You see, the real truth of being silent is that it is the gateway to all manifestation. It is the fertile soil in which the seeds of your desires take root and grow. It is the canvas upon which you paint the masterpiece of your life. In silence, you become the author of your own story, the creator of your own reality. But how, you may ask, can silence be so powerful? How can the absence of action, the cessation of thought, lead to the fulfillment of our deepest desires? The answer, my friends, lies in understanding the nature of reality itself. You see, the world you perceive around you with all its seeming solidity and permanence is but a shadow, a reflection of your inner state. Your consciousness, your awareness, is the substance from which all things are formed. And it is in the silence of your mind that you gain access to this substance, this creative power. When you enter into silence, when you still the incessant chatter of your thoughts, you enter into the realm of pure potential. In this state, unencumbered by doubts, fears, or limiting beliefs, you are free to impress upon your subconscious mind the image of your desired reality. And make no mistake, it is your subconscious mind that shapes your world, that molds the circumstances of your life to match your inner convictions. Let me share with you a fundamental truth. Imagination creates reality. Your imagination, when focused and imbued with the feeling of reality, becomes the blueprint from which your life is built, and it is in silence that your imagination is most potent, most alive. In the silence of your mind, you can see with perfect clarity the life you wish to lead. You can feel with every fiber of your being the joy, the success, the love that you desire. And in feeling it, in experiencing it within your imagination as a present fact, you set in motion the forces that will bring it into your physical reality. This, my dear friends, is the law of assumption. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you live from the end as if your desire were already a fact, you align yourself with the creative power of the universe. You become one with your desire, and in that state of oneness, manifestation becomes inevitable. But to reach this state, to truly embody the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you must first cultivate silence. You must learn to quiet the doubting voice of your rational mind, to still the turbulent waters of your emotions. For it is only in the calm, in the silence, that you can clearly hear the voice of your intuition, the whisper of your higher self. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, how can I possibly find silence in this noisy world? How can I quiet my mind when it's constantly bombarded with thoughts and worries? And to you, I say this: silence is not something you find, it is something you create. The practice of silence begins with a decision, a commitment to turn inward, to disconnect from the external world and reconnect with your inner being. It begins with setting aside time each day, even if only for a few minutes, to sit in quietude, to observe your thoughts without judgment, to simply be. As you cultivate this practice, you will find that silence becomes not just a state you enter into during meditation, but a constant companion, a refuge you can access at any moment. You will discover that even in the midst of chaos, you can tap into an inner wellspring of peace and clarity. But the real truth of being silent goes beyond mere relaxation or stress relief. It is a transformative practice that alters the very fabric of your being. In silence, you begin to peel away the layers of conditioning, the false beliefs and limitations that have been imposed upon you by society, by your upbringing, by your past experiences. You see, my friends, most of us go through life wearing masks, playing roles that have been assigned to us by others. We identify with our jobs, our possessions, our relationships, our social status. But these are not who we truly are. They are merely costumes we wear in the grand play of life. In silence, you begin to see through these illusions. You come face to face with your true self, your eternal, unchanging essence. And in that recognition, in that remembrance of who you really are, you reclaim your power as a creative being. as a co-creator with the divine. This is why silence is so threatening to the ego, to the false self that thrives on noise and distraction. The ego fears silence because in silence it ceases to exist. In the pure awareness that arises in deep silence, there is no ego, no separate self. There is only the I am, the eternal presence that is your true nature. And it is from this state of pure being, this state of I am, that all creation springs forth. When you silence the mind and enter into the I am state, you tap into the infinite potential of the universe. You become a clear channel through which the divine can express itself in the world. This, my dear friends, is the real power of silence. It is not passive, it is not weak. On the contrary, it is the most potent force in the universe. For in silence, you align yourself with the very source of all creation. You become one with the power that spins galaxies and orchestrates the dance of subatomic particles. Now let me be clear. The silence I speak of is not a retreat from the world. It is not about escaping your responsibilities or avoiding the challenges of life. No, the silence I speak of is a dynamic, creative force that empowers you to engage with life more fully, more authentically. When you cultivate inner silence, you develop a clarity of perception that allows you to see through the world. You begin to recognize that the external circumstances of your life are but reflections of your inner state. And in this recognition lies true freedom, true power. For if your world is a reflection of your consciousness, then by changing your consciousness, you change your world. This is the promise and the challenge of the practice of silence. It offers you the keys to the kingdom, but it also demands that you take full responsibility for your life, for your creations. In the silence of your mind, you will encounter your fears, your doubts, your unresolved emotions. You will come face to face with the parts of yourself that you have denied or repressed. This can be uncomfortable, even frightening at times. But remember, my friends, that these shadows only have power over you as long as they remain in darkness. By bringing them into the light of your awareness, by observing them without judgment in the silence of your mind, you begin to dissolve these limiting patterns. You free yourself from the unconscious programming that has been running your life on autopilot. This is why the practice of silence is so transformative. It is not just about manifesting your desires, though that is certainly a powerful aspect of it. It is about awakening to your true nature, about remembering who you really are beyond all the roles and identities you have assumed. In silence, you discover that you are not your thoughts, not your emotions, not your body. These are all aspects of your experience, but they are not your essence. Your essence is the awareness that perceives these things, the consciousness that underlies all experience. And when you realize this, when you truly know this, not just intellectually, but experientially, your entire relationship with life changes. You no longer feel like a victim of circumstances, buffeted about by the winds of fate. You recognize yourself as the author of your experience, as the creator of your reality. This recognition brings with it a profound sense of peace, a deep trust in the unfolding of life. For when you know that you are one with the creative power of the universe, what is there to fear? When you understand that all experiences, all circumstances are but reflections of your own consciousness, what is there to resist? In this state of inner silence, of deep trust, manifestation becomes effortless. You no longer need to struggle or strive to make things happen. You simply hold the image of your desire in your mind, feel it as real, and then release it, knowing that the infinite intelligence of the universe will bring it about in divine timing. This is the art of conscious creation, and it is born in silence. It is in the quiet of your mind that you can most clearly formulate your intentions, most vividly imagine your desired reality, and most deeply feel the emotion of your wish fulfilled. But remember, my friends, that the power of silence extends beyond individual manifestation. As you cultivate inner silence, as you align yourself with the creative power of the universe, you become a force for transformation in the world. You see, you are all connected, all part of the same universal consciousness. When you change your inner state, when you raise your vibration through the practice of silence, you contribute to the elevation of collective consciousness. You become a beacon of light, radiating peace and possibility to all those around you. This is how real change happens in the world, not through force or struggle, but through the silent revolution of consciousness. As more and more individuals awaken to their true nature, as more and more people cultivate the power of silence, we create a ripple effect that has the potential to transform our entire society, our entire world. Imagine a world where people are no longer driven by fear, greed, and the need for external validation. Imagine a world where each individual recognizes their inherent divinity, their innate power to create. This is the world we can create through the practice of silence. But it begins with you. It begins with your commitment to cultivate inner silence, to turn within and reconnect with your true self. It begins with your willingness to face your fears, to challenge your limiting beliefs, to imagine a greater possibility for your life and for the world. The journey into silence is not always easy. There will be times when the noise of the world seems overwhelming, when the chatter of your mind seems incessant. There will be moments of doubt, of frustration, of impatience. But I urge you, my dear friends, to persist. For in those moments of challenge lie the greatest opportunities for growth, for transformation. It is often in our darkest hours that we discover our greatest light. It is when we feel most lost that we are on the verge of finding ourselves. So I invite you here and now to make a commitment to silence. Commit to setting aside time each day to sit in quietude, to turn within and listen to the wisdom of your heart. Commit to observing your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions without judgment, simply witnessing them as they arise and pass away. As you do this, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your perception. The world around you may appear brighter, more alive. You may find yourself responding to situations with greater calm, greater clarity. You may notice synchronicities and serendipities occurring more frequently in your life. These are all signs that you are aligning with the creative power of the universe. They are confirmations that you are on the right path, that your practice of silence is bearing fruit. But remember, the greatest confirmation, the truest measure of your progress, is the peace you feel within. It is the growing sense of connection to something greater than yourself, the deepening trust in the unfolding of life. As you continue on this path, as you deepen your practice of silence, you will discover that it becomes not just a practice but a way of life. You will find yourself naturally turning within in moments of challenge or decision, naturally seeking the guidance of your inner wisdom. You will discover that you no longer need to force things to happen in your life. Instead, you will learn to flow with the current of life, to co-create with the universe in a dance of effortless manifestation. This, my dear friends, is the real truth of being silent. It is not about absence but presence. It is not about emptiness but fullness. It is about tapping into the infinite potential that lies within you, about aligning with the creative power of the universe. In silence, you discover that you are not separate from the source of all creation. You are that source expressing itself in human form. You are the universe experiencing itself through your unique perspective. And when you know this, when you live from this truth, your life becomes a joyous adventure of creation and self-discovery. You no longer feel bound by limitations or constrained by circumstances. You recognize that the only limits that exist are those you have accepted in your own mind. In silence, you have the power to transcend these self-imposed limitations. You have the power to reimagine yourself, to rewrite the story of your life. You have the power to create a life that is a true expression of your highest potential, your deepest desires. So I urge you, my dear friends, embrace the practice of silence. Make it a cornerstone of your daily life. For in doing so, you are not just transforming your own life, you are contributing to the transformation of our world. Every moment of silence, every instance of turning within, every act of conscious creation ripples out into the collective consciousness. It adds to the growing wave of awakening that is sweeping across our planet. You are part of this great awakening. Your commitment to silence, to inner transformation, is a vital contribution to the evolution of human consciousness. Never underestimate the power of your individual practice, for it is through the transformation of individuals that we transform the world. As you leave here today, I invite you to carry this message of silence with you. Let it be a constant reminder of your true nature, of your innate power to create. Let it inspire you to turn within, to seek the wisdom and guidance that resides in the silence of your own heart. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you. It is not something to be sought in the external world, but a state of consciousness to be realized through the practice of silence. It is your birthright, your true inheritance as a divine being having a human experience. So claim your birthright. Embrace the silence. Allow it to reveal to you the infinite potential that lies within. Allow it to guide you to the fulfillment of your deepest desires, to the realization of your highest purpose. For in the end, my dear friends, this is what the practice of silence offers: the opportunity to live a life of purpose, of passion, of deep fulfillment. It offers us the chance to become conscious co-creators with the divine, to play our unique part in the grand symphony of creation. This is the real truth of being silent. It is the key to unlocking the treasure house of your own being, to accessing the infinite wisdom and power that resides within you. It is the path to true freedom, true happiness, true self-realization. So go forth from here with a renewed commitment to silence. Make it your constant companion, your trusted guide on the journey of life. Let it lead you to the deepest truths of your being, to the fullest expression of your divine nature. And as you do, know that you are not alone on this journey. The same power that spins the galaxies, that orchestrates the dance of life, is within you, supporting you, guiding you every step of the way. Trust in this power. Surrender to it. Allow it to work through you, to express itself as you. For you are a divine being, a creative force in the universe. You have within you the power to shape your reality, to manifest your desires, to create a life of joy, abundance, and fulfillment. This is the promise of silence. This is the gift that awaits you in the quiet depths of your own being. Embrace it, my dear friends. Live it, be it. And in doing so, you will not only transform your own life, but you will contribute to the transformation of our world. You will become a beacon of light, a channel for divine expression, a living embodiment of the truth that lies at the heart of all creation. This is your calling. This is your destiny. This is the real truth of being silent. So let us go forth from here with renewed purpose, with deepened commitment to our inner journey. Let us embrace the power of silence, knowing that in its depths lie the keys to our freedom, our fulfillment, our ultimate realization. For in silence, we find our true selves. In silence, we connect with the divine. In silence, we become co-creators with the universe. This is the promise. This is the possibility. This is the truth. And it is available to each and every one of you here and now, in this very moment. So take a deep breath, my friends. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the silence that surrounds you, that permeates you. Feel the power that resides within you. And in this moment of stillness, of inner quiet, set your intention. Commit to making silence a part of your daily life. Commit to turning within, to listening to the wisdom of your heart, to aligning with the creative power of the universe. For in this commitment lies the seed of your transformation. In this decision to embrace silence lies the potential for a life beyond your wildest dreams. So step boldly into the silence, my friends. Step boldly into your power. Step boldly into the grand adventure of conscious creation that awaits you. For this is your birthright. This is your destiny. This is the real truth of being silent. And it is calling you home to yourself, to your true nature, to the infinite potential that lies within you. Answer the call, my friends. Embrace the silence and watch as your life transforms in miraculous ways. For in silence, all things are possible. In silence, you are infinite. In silence, you are free. This is the truth. This is the way. This is the life that awaits you. So go forth and be silent. Go forth and be powerful. Go forth and be the creator of magnificent reality. For this is who you truly are. This is what you came here to be. This is the real truth of being silent. And it is yours now and always to claim to live. Thank you, my dear friends. May the power of silence guide you, bless you, and transform you. May you realize the fullness of your divine nature and create a life that is a testament to the infinite potential that resides within you. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And your journey into the transformative power of silence begins with this moment, with the decision to turn within and listen to the wisdom of your heart. So take that step, my friends. Embrace the silence and watch as the miracles unfold in your life. For this is the promise of silence. This is the gift that awaits you. This is the real truth of being silent. And it is yours now and forever to explore, to embody, to become. Go in peace, my friends. Go in power. Go in the knowing that you are divine beings, creators of your own reality, masters of your own destiny. For this is the truth that silence reveals. This is the reality that awaits you in the quiet depths of your own being. Embrace it. Live it. For in doing so, you fulfill your highest purpose. You express your truest nature. You become who you were always meant to be. This is the invitation of silence. This is the promise of your own divine nature. This is the real truth of being silent. And it is calling you home to yourself, to your power, to your truth. Answer the call, my friends. Step into the silence and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. For in silence, all things are possible. In silence, you are infinite. In silence, you are free. This is the truth. This is the way. This is the life that awaits you. So go forth and be silent. Go forth and be powerful. Go forth and be the creator of your own magnificent reality. For this is who you truly are. This is what you came here to be. This is the real truth of being silent. And it is yours now and always to claim, to live, to be. Thank you. And may the power of silence guide you always. Gratitude is the absolute key to manifesting anything you desire in this world. When you truly understand this principle and apply it as I shall explain tonight, you will hold in your hands the master key to all creation. The creative power of gratitude. Your world is nothing more than the outpicturing of your consciousness. Everything you perceive is simply your consciousness pushed out. This is the first principle you must understand. The second is this: consciousness can be controlled, directed, and focused through the feeling of gratitude. When you enter the state of gratitude, you are entering a state of completion, of fulfillment. And here is the secret that so few understand: the feeling of gratitude is not merely a response to receiving your desire. It is the very means by which your desire is fulfilled. In the Bible, we read that before Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, he said, "Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me." He expressed gratitude before the physical manifestation appeared. He did not say, "Father, please hear me," or "Father, I hope you will hear me." No, he gave thanks for what was not yet visible to the human eye, but was absolute in his consciousness. This is the pattern you must follow. You must have the audacity, the boldness to give thanks for what is not yet seen. For in the realm of spirit, in the realm of consciousness, your desire already exists in its completed state. Your gratitude acknowledges this truth and brings it into physical expression. The two worlds of manifestation. Let me explain something fundamental about the nature of reality. There are two worlds in operation at all times: the world of Caesar, which is the physical world of effects, and the world of God, which is the spiritual world of causes. Most people live entirely in the world of effects. They look at their current circumstances and react to them. If they see lack, they feel lack. If they see limitation, they feel limitation. And in doing so, they perpetuate these very conditions in their lives. But there is another way to live. You can choose to live from the world of causes. In this world, you do not react to what is, you create what will be. And gratitude is the means by which you accomplish this creation. When you express gratitude for having received what you desire even before its physical manifestation, you are operating in the causal realm. You are impressing upon your subconscious mind the feeling of fulfillment. And your subconscious mind, which knows no difference between what is imagined and what is real, begins immediately to bring about the conditions that match this feeling. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful imagination. This is the operation of an immutable law. For the subconscious mind is the creative power within you, and it is completely impersonal. It takes your dominant feelings and brings them into expression regardless of whether those feelings are of lack or of abundance, of fear or of love, of doubt or of gratitude. The mechanics of gratitude. Let me now explain precisely how I use gratitude to manifest my desires, so that you may apply this same technique in your own life. First, I identify clearly what I wish to experience. I do not concern myself with how it will come about, or whether it seems possible based on my current circumstances. I simply identify the end result I wish to experience. Then, I close my eyes and create a scene in my imagination that implies the fulfillment of this desire. This scene must be one that would naturally occur if my desire were already realized. For instance, if I desire financial abundance, I might imagine a friend congratulating me on my new prosperity. If I desire perfect health, I might imagine a doctor expressing amazement at my complete recovery. Now comes the crucial step. As I dwell in this imagined scene, I deliberately generate the feeling of profound gratitude. I give thanks to God, to my deeper self, to the Christ within, for having granted me this desire. I feel the gratitude as intensely as possible, allowing it to permeate every cell of my being. I continue in this state of thankfulness until the feeling becomes so real, so vivid, that I experience what I call the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is a sensation of absolute completion, of knowing beyond any doubt that what I have imagined is now mine. And finally, I carry this feeling of gratitude with me throughout my day. Whenever doubts arise, whenever the outer world seems to contradict what I know to be true in consciousness, I simply return to the feeling of gratitude. I give thanks once again for the fulfillment that is already mine in spirit and is now moving into expression in the world of form. The gratitude before the fact. There is a concept I wish to emphasize strongly, for it is frequently misunderstood. Most people believe that gratitude follows manifestation, that we should give thanks after we receive. But I tell you now, the secret of accelerated manifestation is to express gratitude before the fact. This is what the scripture means when it says, before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. This is the gratitude before the fact, giving thanks for what is desired as though it had already been received. When you express gratitude before the fact, you are making a definite claim on the invisible. You are establishing ownership in consciousness. And since all manifestation follows consciousness, what you claim in consciousness must materialize in your world. Consider this truth. Would you give thanks for something you did not believe you had received? Of course not. The very act of expressing gratitude implies possession. Therefore, gratitude before the fact is one of the most powerful declarations of faith possible. The great secret of manifestation is to feel the reality of the state desired and to live in the thankfulness of its fulfillment even before that fulfillment is visible to the mortal eye. For eyes of flesh see only effects, the inner eye of imagination sees causes. And it is from causes that all effects flow. Gratitude dissolves resistance. One of the most remarkable aspects of gratitude is its ability to dissolve resistance within your own consciousness. For manifestation to occur smoothly and rapidly, there must be no inner conflict, no contradiction between your conscious desires and your subconscious beliefs. Many people fail to manifest their desires because while they consciously affirm what they want, their subconscious mind is filled with doubts, fears, and contrary beliefs. This creates a state of division, and a house divided against itself cannot stand. Gratitude heals this division. When you dwell in the feeling of thankfulness for having received your desire, you cannot simultaneously entertain doubts about its fulfillment. The two states are mutually exclusive. Just as light automatically dispels darkness, gratitude automatically dispels doubt. Furthermore, gratitude generates a positive emotional charge that penetrates deep into the subconscious, impressing upon it the reality of the wish fulfilled. The subconscious does not respond to words or affirmations nearly as powerfully as it responds to feelings. And gratitude is one of the most positive, most elevated feelings possible. When you fill your consciousness with gratitude, you are literally programming your creative subconscious to manifest your desire. You are aligning all levels of your being, conscious, subconscious, and superconscious, with the fulfillment of your intention. Persistence in gratitude. I must now speak about the importance of persistence. Many people attempt to practice gratitude for a day or two and then, seeing no immediate results, abandon the practice and return to their habitual states of consciousness. This is a grave error. The subconscious mind is not unlike the soil in which seeds are planted. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up each day to see if it is growing. You water it, you ensure it receives adequate sunlight, and you trust in the natural process of growth. Eventually, the seed sprouts and grows into a plant. Similarly, when you impress a desire upon your subconscious through gratitude, you must allow time for this impression to develop and express itself. You must persist in the feeling of gratitude, never wavering in your assumption that what you have claimed in consciousness is now yours. Remember the words of Jesus, therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Note carefully the tense used, believe that ye receive them, present tense, and ye shall have them, future tense. First the acceptance in consciousness, then the manifestation in reality. Persistence in gratitude means maintaining an unwavering conviction that what you have claimed in consciousness must, by divine law, externalize itself in your world. It means refusing to be swayed by appearances, refusing to accept the evidence of the senses when that evidence contradicts what you know to be true in spirit. As you persist in gratitude, you will discover that manifestation does not always occur in the way you might have anticipated. The infinite intelligence of your deeper self knows the shortest, most efficient path to the fulfillment of your desire, and this path may surprise you. Be open to unexpected channels of fulfillment and give thanks for them when they appear. The test of true gratitude. How can you know if your gratitude is genuine, if it is of the kind that leads to manifestation? There is a simple test. True gratitude is accompanied by a deep sense of peace. When you have successfully impressed your desire upon your subconscious through the feeling of gratitude, you will experience a profound relaxation and letting go of anxiety and struggle. You will no longer feel the need to make things happen through personal effort alone, for you will know that the infinite creative power within you has been activated and is now at work bringing your desire into fulfillment. This peace is your confirmation that you have done your spiritual work effectively. It is the signal that you have transferred your request from the conscious striving mind to the subconscious creative mind, and that the process of manifestation is now in motion. If after your period of grateful imagination, you still feel anxious, still feel the need to manipulate external circumstances, still wonder how your desire will be fulfilled, then you have not yet fully entered the state of true gratitude. Return to your inner work and deepen the feeling until that sense of peace descends upon you. For true gratitude is not merely a mental exercise, it is a complete transformation of your emotional state. It is the feeling that results when you know not hope, not believe, but know that what you desire is already your the only realm that ultimately matters, the realm of consciousness. Gratitude as a way of life. Up to this point, I have spoken of gratitude primarily as a manifestation technique, a method for bringing your desires into physical reality. But I would be remiss if I did not emphasize that gratitude is far more than a technique. It is a way of life. The most powerful manifestors are those who live in a continuous state of thankfulness, who perceive the abundant good that surrounds them at all times, who recognize the unlimited potential that dwells within them. When gratitude becomes your natural state, your default response to life, you enter a perpetual cycle of giving and receiving. For the universe responds to your thankfulness by giving you even more to be thankful for. This is the meaning of the scripture. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. Begin to practice gratitude not only for what you wish to manifest, but also for what you have already manifested. Give thanks for your current blessings, no matter how small they may seem. Give thanks for the air you breathe, the food you eat, the clothes you wear, the roof over your head. Give thanks for your senses, your faculties, your ability to imagine and to think. As you develop this habit of continuous gratitude, you create a consciousness that is naturally aligned with abundance rather than lack, with love rather than fear, with fulfillment rather than emptiness. And from such a consciousness, manifestation flows effortlessly and abundantly. The gratitude journal, let me share with you a simple but powerful practice that has greatly enhanced my ability to maintain a state of gratitude, keeping a gratitude journal. Each night before sleep, I write down at least 5 things for which I am grateful. Some of these are manifestations that have already appeared in my life. Others are manifestations that exist only in my imagination, but which I claim as mine through the act of giving thanks. This practice accomplishes several important objectives. First, it focuses my attention on the good that is already present in my life, training my mind to perceive abundance rather than lack. Second, it allows me to review and reinforce the manifestations I am currently working on, impressing them more deeply upon my subconscious. And third, it sends me to sleep with a consciousness filled with thankfulness, allowing my subconscious to work throughout the night on the fulfillment of my desires. I highly recommend this practice to you. Make it a sacred ritual, a time for communion with your deeper self, a time for acknowledging the creative power that dwells within you and giving thanks for its unfailing response to your conscious direction. The role of action in grateful manifestation. I have emphasized the importance of inner work of impressing your desire upon your subconscious through grateful imagination. But I must also address the role of action in the manifestation process. When you have successfully entered the state of gratitude for your fulfilled desire, you will find yourself naturally inspired to take whatever actions are necessary for its physical realization. These actions will not be forced or strained. They will emerge organically from your new state of consciousness. This is what Scripture means when it says, faith without works is dead. Your grateful imagination is the faith. The actions you are inspired to take are the works. Both are necessary for complete manifestation. However, these inspired actions differ fundamentally from the anxious, effortful actions that characterize most people's attempts to achieve their goals. When your actions emerge from a consciousness of gratitude, they are infused with a sense of certainty and joy. You act not to make something happen, but to express what you know has already happened in consciousness. Furthermore, you will find yourself guided to take actions that you might never have conceived through conscious planning alone. The infinite intelligence of your subconscious mind, having accepted the impression of your fulfilled desire, now orchestrates events and inspires actions that lead to its most efficient manifestation. Trust this guidance. When you feel prompted to make a phone call, to visit a particular place, to speak to a certain person, honor these impulses. They are the natural outworking of the manifestation process that you have initiated through grateful imagination. Gratitude through challenges. Now I must address a question that inevitably arises. How do I maintain gratitude when facing challenges, when the outer world seems to contradict the fulfillment I have claimed in consciousness? This is perhaps the greatest test of your understanding and application of the principle I am sharing with you tonight, for it is relatively easy to feel grateful when all is going well, when manifestations are appearing rapidly and effortlessly. The true test comes when you encounter what appear to be obstacles, delays, or setbacks. In such moments, you must remember that appearances are just that, appearances. They are not reality. They are simply the shadow of past states of consciousness. Your current conscious assumption, maintained with gratitude and conviction, will transform these appearances in due time. When challenges arise, do not succumb to disappointment or doubt. Instead, intensify your gratitude. Give thanks not only for the fulfillment of your desire, but also for the perfect resolution of the seeming obstacle. Know that this challenge is not a contradiction of your manifestation, but a necessary step in its unfoldment. Consider the example of Joseph in Scripture, who was sold into slavery and later imprisoned before rising to become the second most powerful man in Egypt. Had he stopped his story at the point of imprisonment, it would have appeared to be a tragedy. But these apparent setbacks were actually necessary steps toward the fulfillment of his destiny. So it is with the challenges you face. They are not denials of your good, they are simply parts of the bridge of incidents leading to the full realization of your desire. Give thanks for them, knowing that all things work together for good to those who maintain the consciousness of being loved and guided by God. Gratitude and divine timing. Another essential aspect of manifestation through gratitude is understanding and accepting divine timing. When you impress your desire upon your subconscious through grateful imagination, you set in motion a sequence of events that will culminate in its physical manifestation. But the timing of this manifestation is not always under your conscious control. The infinite wisdom of your deeper self knows the perfect moment for the externalization of your desire. It knows what preliminary manifestations must occur, what arrangements must be made, what developments must take place before the complete fulfillment can appear. Trust this divine timing. Do not attempt to force manifestation through anxious striving or impatient action. Instead, rest in the certainty that what you have claimed in consciousness is now in the process of expression, and it will appear at exactly the right moment, not a minute earlier or a minute later. Use any period of waiting not as a time of frustration, but as an opportunity to deepen your gratitude. Give thanks that the perfect unfoldment is occurring, that all necessary elements are being assembled, that your good is hastening toward you at maximum speed, consistent with divine harmony. Remember the words of Scripture, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, But at the end it shall speak, and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. What appears as delay from the limited perspective of the human mind is perfect timing from the unlimited perspective of the divine mind. Give thanks for this perfect timing, and you will experience it as perfect indeed. The compounding effect of gratitude. I would now like to share with you one of the most remarkable aspects of manifestation through gratitude, the compounding effect. Just as money invested wisely grows through the principle of compound interest, consciousness invested in gratitude grows through a similar principle of spiritual compounding. Each act of grateful imagination builds upon the previous one, creating an ever-increasing momentum toward manifestation. When you begin this practice, you may find it requires considerable effort to generate and maintain the feeling of gratitude, especially for desires that seem far removed from your current experience. But as you persist, you will discover that gratitude comes more easily, more naturally, and with greater intensity. Furthermore, as your initial manifestations begin to appear, they serve as confirmation of the principle, strengthening your faith and enhancing your ability to feel grateful for desires not yet externalized. This creates a virtuous cycle. Gratitude leads to manifestation, which inspires greater gratitude, which leads to greater manifestation, and so on without end. This is why those who truly understand and apply this principle find that their manifestations accelerate over time. What once required weeks or months of grateful imagination may eventually require only days or even hours. For the subconscious mind, once thoroughly convinced of your ability to manifest through gratitude, responds with increasing speed and precision to your conscious direction. Gratitude and forgiveness. There is an important connection between gratitude and forgiveness that must be addressed, for unforgiveness is one of the primary blocks to successful manifestation. When you harbor resentment, anger, or blame toward others, or indeed toward yourself, you create a state of consciousness that is incompatible with the peaceful, harmonious energy of gratitude. These negative emotions act as static in your consciousness, distorting the clear signal of your grateful imagination and impeding its reception by your creative subconscious. Furthermore, unforgiveness keeps you bound to the past, while manifestation requires a consciousness that is free to create the future. As long as you remain emotionally attached to past injuries or disappointments, you cannot fully embrace the new state of consciousness necessary for the fulfillment of your desires. Gratitude, however, naturally dissolves unforgiveness. For when you truly understand that all experiences, even painful ones, have contributed to your growth and evolution, you can begin to feel genuine thankfulness for them. And in this thankfulness, forgiveness occurs naturally, without effort or struggle. I recommend this practice. Make a list of all individuals toward whom you feel any negative emotion, resentment, anger, jealousy, disappointment. Then, for each person, write down at least 3 reasons to be grateful for them or for your interaction with them. Focus on the lessons you have learned, the strengths you have developed, the understandings you have gained through your relationship with them. As you contemplate these reasons for gratitude, you will find the negative emotions beginning to dissolve, replaced by a sense of peace and even appreciation. This clearing of emotional blocks creates a consciousness that is far more conducive to successful manifestation through gratitude. The science of gratitude. While I have primarily approached this subject from a spiritual perspective, I would be remiss not to mention that modern science is now confirming what spiritual teachers have known for millennia. Gratitude has profound effects on both mind and body. Research has shown that the regular practice of gratitude can lower stress hormones, reduce inflammation, improve heart health, enhance sleep quality, and strengthen the immune system. These physiological benefits are accompanied by psychological improvements, including increased happiness, reduced depression, greater resilience in the face of challenges, and enhanced overall life satisfaction. Why does gratitude have such powerful effects? Because your body responds not to external circumstances, but to your perception and interpretation of those circumstances. When you maintain a state of gratitude, you trigger a cascade of beneficial neurochemical changes that affect every cell and system in your body. Furthermore, these physiological and psychological changes create an internal environment that is highly conducive to manifestation. When your body is in a state of relaxed alertness rather than stressed vigilance, when your mind is clear and focused rather than anxious and scattered, your creative faculties function at their optimal level. Your intuition becomes sharper, your inspiration more frequent, your access to innovative solutions more immediate. Thus, gratitude creates a positive feedback loop that enhances not only your manifestation abilities, but also your overall health and well-being. It is truly a master key to a life of abundance on all levels. Teaching others the power of gratitude? As you begin to experience the manifestation power of gratitude in your own life, you may feel inspired to share this principle with others. This is a natural impulse, for when we discover a truth that transforms us, we wish to offer this same transformation to those we care about. However, I caution you to teach primarily through example rather than through persuasion. Let others witness the changes in your life, the increasing abundance, the greater peace, the more harmonious relationships, and they will naturally inquire about the source of these changes. Then, when they ask, you can share the principle of grateful manifestation with those who are ready to receive it. Remember that each individual must discover this truth in their own time and apply it in their own way. Some will embrace it immediately. Others will require numerous exposures before it resonates with them. Honor each person's journey and trust in the perfect unfoldment of their spiritual awakening. When you do share this principle, emphasize its experiential nature. Encourage others not simply to understand it intellectually, but to apply it practically, to test it in the laboratory of their own consciousness. For this is not a truth that can be proven through argument. It must be demonstrated through experience. And finally, as you teach others, remember that you are simultaneously deepening your own understanding and application of the principle. For in explaining it to others, you clarify it for yourself. In addressing their questions and concerns, you resolve your own. In witnessing their successes, you strengthen your own faith in the unfailing operation of this spiritual law. Living in the consciousness of gratitude, we are approaching the conclusion of our discussion. But before we end, I wish to share a vision of what is possible when gratitude becomes not merely a technique you apply occasionally, but a state of consciousness in which you dwell continuously. Imagine awakening each morning with a heart full of thankfulness for the new day, for the breath in your lungs, for the unlimited possibilities that stretch before you. Imagine moving through your daily activities in a state of appreciation for everything you encounter, the smile of a stranger, the beauty of the sky, the functionality of your body, the opportunity to be of service. Imagine facing challenges with gratitude for the growth they offer, the strength they develop, the greater good they ultimately reveal. Imagine relating to others with thankfulness for their presence in your life, for the unique qualities they express, for the opportunities for love and connection they provide. Imagine ending each day with a profound sense of gratitude for all that has occurred, for all that you have experienced, for all that you have given and received. And imagine drifting into sleep filled with thankfulness for the manifestations that are even now moving toward you through the creative action of your grateful consciousness. This is the consciousness of gratitude, a perpetual state of thankfulness that transforms every aspect of your experience. In this consciousness, manifestation is no longer a sporadic event, but a continuous flow. Your desires are fulfilled not occasionally, but consistently, not partially, but completely, not after long delay, but with divine perfect timing. This consciousness is available to you now. It requires no special talents, no esoteric knowledge, no external conditions. It requires only your decision to enter it, to claim it as your natural state, to live from it in all circumstances and at all times. Conclusion, the gratitude revolution. My dear friends, we stand at the threshold of what might be called a gratitude revolution, a fundamental shift in how we relate to life, to ourselves, and to the creative process. This revolution begins within each individual consciousness and gradually extends to transform our collective experience. As more and more people discover and apply the principle of manifestation through gratitude, we will witness not only individual transformations, but also societal ones. For a society composed of grateful individuals is a society characterized by abundance, rather than scarcity, by cooperation rather than competition, by harmony rather than conflict. I invite you to be part of this revolution. Begin today to practice the grateful imagination I have described. Identify a desire that is currently unfulfilled in your life. Create a scene that implies its fulfillment, and enter fully into the feeling of gratitude for its completion. Persist in this practice daily, carrying the feeling of thankfulness with you throughout your activities. At the same time, cultivate gratitude for what is already manifest in your life. Train yourself to perceive the abundant good that surrounds you, to appreciate the countless blessings you already enjoy, to recognize the infinite potential that dwells within you. As you do, you will discover what I and many others have discovered, that gratitude is indeed the master key to manifestation, that thankfulness before the fact is the surest path to the fulfillment of your desires, that living in the consciousness of appreciation creates a life of endless abundance and joy. The choice is yours. You can continue to live as most people live, reacting to circumstances, hoping for change, waiting for conditions to improve. Or you can embrace the truth I have shared with you tonight and begin immediately to create the life you desire through the transformative power of gratitude. I know which choice you will make, for the very fact that you have heard these words indicates your readiness to apply them. Trust this readiness. Trust the principle I have shared. Trust the process of manifestation through gratitude. And above all, trust the divine creative power that dwells within you, waiting only for your grateful direction to manifest your every desire. Thank you, and may your life be filled with the abundance that grateful manifestation inevitably brings. The word impossible. What does it truly mean? In your current understanding, it might represent a barrier, a limit to what can be achieved. But I say unto you, the impossible is merely that which has not yet been imagined into being. It is a temporary state, waiting to be transformed by the power of your consciousness. But what does it truly mean to repeat something 10 times, and how can this simple act manifest even the impossible? It is not a matter of mere repetition or positive thinking. It is a state of consciousness, a shift in your very being that aligns you with the creative power of the universe. It is about recognizing that your inner dialogue, your self-talk, is the very foundation upon which your reality is built. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. Your outer world, every experience you have, every circumstance you encounter, is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world, your consciousness. It is a mirror, faithfully reflecting back to you the sum total of your beliefs, assumptions, and most importantly, your inner conversations. When you understand this, truly understand it, you realize that by carefully choosing and consistently repeating certain statements, even those that seem impossible, you are actively creating a new reality that will unfold in your experience. This understanding is crucial, for it shifts the entire paradigm of how you approach the impossible. No longer are you a helpless being at the mercy of external circumstances, hoping for favorable conditions. You become the active creator of your reality, knowing that as you repeat your chosen statement 10 times, with feeling and conviction, the universe must rearrange itself to match this new inner assumption. But how, you may ask, can mere repetition have such a profound and lasting impact? The answer lies in the creative power of your wonderful human imagination combined with the intensity of your feeling and belief. For your imagination is not a mere fantasy maker, and your feelings are not mere reactions to external stimuli. Together they form the very workshop in which reality is forged. Let us take a moment to truly understand this. Your subconscious mind, which is one with the universal creative force, does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and feel as truly and what you actually experienced in the outer world. It accepts as true whatever you feel to be true in your inner conversations. And Once it accepts an idea as true, it proceeds to bring it into manifestation in your physical reality, regardless of how long it takes in clock time or how impossible it may seem to your rational mind. So when you repeat a statement 10 times, especially one that seems impossible, you are not engaging in wishful thinking or self-deception. You are actively creating your new reality from within. You are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe, allowing it to work through you and for you to manifest even the seemingly impossible. This, my dear listeners, is the essence of the power of repetition. It is about recognizing that the power to shape your reality lies within you, waiting to express through your conscious inner dialogue. It is about understanding that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner conversations, which can be radically altered by consistently repeating chosen statements, even those that currently seem impossible. Consider the biblical phrase, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." This is not a mere poetic expression or a vague spiritual concept. It is a statement of cosmic law, an invitation to recognize the power of your inner dialogue. When you repeat a statement times, especially one that seems impossible, you are thinking it in your heart. You are feeling its reality with every fiber of your being. And in that moment, you are changed. The outer manifestation may take time to catch up, but the inner transformation is instantaneous. But let me be clear, repeating a statement 10 times is not about forced repetition or strained affirmations. It is about a total immersion in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, of the impossible becoming possible. When you truly embody this practice, you naturally assume the thoughts, feelings, and inner conversations of the person who lives in the reality where the impossible has become possible. You go to sleep not as the person bound by current limitations, but as the person who has already experienced the manifestation of the impossible. Let us explore this further with an example. Imagine a person who desires to manifest something that seems utterly impossible, perhaps healing from an incurable disease or achieving a seemingly unattainable goal. Their outer reality shows no signs of this possibility. Now imagine this person deciding to repeat the statement, "Even the impossible is possible for me," 10 times with complete conviction and feeling. As they do so, they immerse themselves in the feeling of this statement being true. They feel the joy, the wonder, the gratitude of living in a world where even the impossible manifests for them. They allow this feeling to permeate every cell of their being. They repeat this statement not just with their lips, but with their entire consciousness. When they awaken, something has shifted. They may not see immediate external changes in their circumstances, but internally, they are no longer the same person. They have experienced the reality of a world where the impossible becomes possible, and this new self-concept begins to reshape their outer world. In the days and weeks that follow, they find themselves naturally acting with more confidence and expectancy. They approach challenges with a newfound sense of possibility. They make decisions and take actions aligned with their new assumption that even the impossible will manifest for them. And as they do so, their outer world begins to reflect this new inner state. Opportunities arise that they never would have noticed before. Solutions appear to problems that once seemed insurmountable. Their entire life begins to transform, all stemming from the simple act of repeating a powerful statement 10 times. This principle applies to every aspect of your life. Whether you desire to manifest health, wealth, love, or any other state of being that currently seems impossible, the key is to first assume it as true in your inner dialogue. Repeat the statement that aligns with your desire 10 times, feeling the reality of it being true. Fall asleep in that state. knowing that as you do so, you are planting a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind that must grow into your outer reality. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, can simply repeating a statement 10 times really make such a difference? Surely manifesting the impossible requires more than that. And to this I say it is not the mere repetition of words that creates the change, but the shift in consciousness that occurs when you repeat a statement with feeling and conviction. The repetition is a tool to impress upon your subconscious mind a new assumption, a new truth about the nature of your reality. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. It is your consciousness that gives life to your experiences. When you repeat statements that align with your current limitations, you are breathing life into a reality that perpetuates those limitations. But when you consciously choose to repeat statements that align with the manifestation of the impossible, you set in motion a series of events that must culminate in the outer expression of this new inner reality. This, my dear friends, is the true secret to manifesting even the impossible. It is about aligning your inner dialogue with the highest vision of yourself and your life. Recognizing that this desired reality is seeking expression through you and allowing it to flow into your experience through the power of your repeated statements and unwavering belief. But let me warn you, this shift in consciousness, this practice of repeating powerful statements 10 times is not always an easy task. The old habits of negative self-talk, of repeating limiting beliefs, are deeply ingrained in our collective consciousness. As you embark on this new way of thinking and speaking to yourself, you may find resistance arising within you. Doubts may creep in, old thought patterns may try to reassert themselves. When this happens, do not fight against these thoughts and feelings. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to your chosen statement, repeating it again with renewed conviction. For the war is not won by battling against what you don't want, but by persistently embodying what you do want. This persistence, this unwavering commitment, repeating your chosen statement 10 times, even in the face of contrary evidence, is what allows you to truly manifest the impossible. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you're trying to listen to a particular station, you don't focus on eliminating all the other stations. You simply tune into the frequency you desire. In the same way, you don't need to fight against your current reality or forcefully push away thoughts of impossibility. You simply need to tune yourself to the frequency of possibility to align your entire consciousness with the reality where even the impossible manifests for you. This tuning is done through your repeated statements and your ability to generate feeling states. Your inner dialogue is the dial that allows you to tune into different frequencies of experience. As you repeat your chosen statement times, as you feel the reality of it being true, you are tuning yourself to that frequency, allowing the corresponding experiences to flow into your life. But remember, my friends, this is not a one-time event. Repeating your chosen statement times is a practice, a way of life. It's a constant choice to maintain this new inner dialogue, regardless of appearances. Just as you wouldn't expect to stay in shape by exercising once, you cannot expect to manifest the impossible by repeating a statement once. This is about persistently aligning your inner conversations with your desired reality, about maintaining this consciousness day in and day out until it becomes your new normal. As you do this, you will find that your perception of what is possible begins to shift. What once seemed impossible now appears as a natural unfolding of events. Challenges become opportunities for growth. You begin to see yourself as the empowered being you truly are, knowing that your inner art is constantly shaping your reality. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, how can I maintain this practice of repeating my chosen statement 10 times when my current reality seems unchanged? How can I persist in feeling its truth? when circumstances seem to contradict it. And to this I say, your imagination infused with feeling is more powerful than any circumstance. Consider for a moment, have you ever been deeply moved by a story, whether in a book or a movie? In those moments, were you not feeling real emotions based on imaginary events? Your feelings were real, even though the events were not happening in your physical reality. This is the power you must harness when you repeat your chosen statement 10 times. You must use your imagination to create scenarios that evoke the feelings associated with your statement being true. Imagine how you would feel if the impossible had already manifested for you. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the sense of wonder that would come with this reality. Feel these states as vividly and as consistently as you can as you repeat your statement. The key is to make your repetition as real to you as possible. Engage all your senses. Feel the textures associated with your desire fulfilled. Hear the sounds, smell the scents, taste the flavors. See the world through the eyes of the person who lives in the reality where the impossible has become possible. Make it so real that your rational mind cannot distinguish between this inner experience and physical reality. But here's a crucial point, my friends. The goal is not to repeat statements about specific events or circumstances. The goal is to capture the essence of the feeling state associated with living in a world where even the impossible manifests for you. For it is this feeling state that is the true attractor of your experiences. Let me illustrate this with an example. Instead of repeating, I will win the lottery 10 times, capture the feeling essence of living in a world of unlimited abundance. Repeat, I live in a world of infinite possibilities and abundance 10 times. Feel the security, the freedom, the joy that comes with this state. See yourself moving through life with the ease and confidence of someone who knows that even the impossible will manifest for them. By focusing on the feeling essence rather than specific outcomes, you allow the universe to bring your desire to you in ways that might far exceed your specific imaginings. You open yourself to possibilities beyond what your current mindset can conceive. This is the true art of manifesting the impossible through repetition. It's not about forcing yourself to believe something against all evidence. It's about aligning yourself with the truth of your divine nature, your oneness with the creative power of the universe. It's about repeating statements that resonate with the highest vision of who you truly are and what is possible for you. As you practice this, you may find that your outer world begins to shift in subtle ways. Perhaps you start to notice more synchronicity in your life, or you find yourself naturally making choices that align with your new assumption of possibility, or opportunities that once seemed impossible begin to present themselves. These are all signs that your inner shift brought about by your repeated statements is creating ripples in your outer reality. Don't discount these small changes. Celebrate them. See them as confirmation that the law is working, that your repeated statements are taking root. But don't become attached to them or anxiously look for them. Simply acknowledge them with gratitude and continue to repeat your chosen statement with conviction. As you persist in this practice, larger changes will begin to manifest. You may find yourself naturally attracting experiences that align with your new assumption of possibility. You may notice that challenges which once seemed insurmountable are now easily overcome. You may achieve goals you once thought impossible with an ease that feels miraculously. And as you continue to repeat your chosen statement 10 times each day, you'll discover that life becomes an exciting adventure of ever-expanding possibility. But remember, the outer manifestation is not the goal. The goal is the state of consciousness from which all desired experiences naturally flow. This is a crucial point, my friends. When you're truly embodying a state where even the impossible manifests for you, when you're fully living from this consciousness, you no longer need external circumstances to confirm your state. You're already whole, already complete in your knowing that you live in a world of infinite possibility. And paradoxically, it's in this state of inner assurance that you're most likely to experience a life where the impossible becomes possible. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what about action? Don't we need to do things in the physical world to manifest the impossible? And to this I say, yes, action is part of the process. But it's inspired action, not anxious doing. When you're consistently repeating your chosen statement 10 times each day, living from the consciousness of possibility, ideas and opportunities will naturally present themselves to you. You'll feel inspired to take certain actions, to move in certain directions. These actions won't feel like struggle or effort. They'll feel natural, joyful, almost effortless. This is the difference between trying to make the impossible happen and allowing it to happen. When you're trying to force manifestation, actions feel stressful, born out of fear and doubt. When you're living from the consciousness of possibility, actions flow naturally from your aligned state, guided by an inner wisdom that knows exactly how to bring about the manifestation of even the seemingly impossible. Consider the example of a seed growing into a mighty oak tree. The seed doesn't strain to become a tree. It doesn't force itself to grow. It simply unfolds naturally, expressing its innate potential. You, my dear listeners, are no different. When you align yourself with the consciousness of possibility through your repeated statements, you allow your life to unfold naturally and beautifully, expressing the infinite potential that is your birthright. But let me be clear, this state of allowing is not passive. It requires an active use of your imagination, a deliberate and focused repetition of your chosen statement. It requires faith, not blind faith in external circumstances, but faith in the creative power of your consciousness and your ability to manifest even the impossible through your inner dialogue. This faith is not about believing that the impossible will become possible someday in the future. It's about knowing that you live in a world of infinite possibility now, in this very moment, and that your outer world must inevitably conform to this new inner reality. As you cultivate this faith, as you persist in repeating your chosen statement 10 times each day, you'll begin to see evidence of the impossible becoming possible in your outer world. These signs may start small: an unexpected solution to a problem, a chance encounter that leads to a breakthrough, a sudden insight that changes everything. Do not discount these signs, no matter how small they may seem, for they are confirmation that your inner world, shaped in each statement, is indeed shaping your outer reality. They are breadcrumbs leading you to the full realization of a life where even the impossible manifests for you. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to address a common concern that arises when people first encounter this teaching. Many worry that focusing on repeating statements about the impossible becoming possible might somehow disconnect them from reality or lead to disappointment. But I assure you, my friends, the opposite is true. When you truly understand the principle of manifesting through repetition, you realize that you are not separate from reality. You are the creator of your reality. As you elevate your own consciousness by repeating powerful statements, you are elevating the consciousness of all. Your personal transformation, far from disconnecting you from reality, actually expands the field of possibilities for all. Moreover, when you are coming from a place of knowing that even the impossible will manifest for you, you naturally have more to give to others. You become a beacon of possibility, a living example of the power of consciousness to reshape reality. Your transformation creates a ripple effect, touching the lives of everyone you encounter with your newfound energy, confidence, and sense of infinite possibility. This is the true gift of repeating powerful statements and manifesting the impossible. It's not just about improving your individual circumstances, although that will happen. It's about aligning yourself with the fundamental nature of the universe, which is boundless potential. It's about recognizing your own divine nature and allowing it to express itself fully through you. In this state of alignment, of consistently repeating your chosen statement 10 times each day, you become a channel for the most beautiful expressions of life. Ideas flow to you effortlessly. Opportunities present themselves naturally. The right people and circumstances appear in your life at the perfect time. This is the magic of living from the consciousness of infinite possibility. But remember, this magic is not something external to you. It's not some cosmic force that you need to appease or manipulate. It is the natural expression of your own consciousness, when it's aligned with the truth of your being. You are the power. You are the magic. You are the one who makes the impossible possible through your repeated statements and unwavering belief. As we draw our time together to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought. The principle we've explored tonight, repeat this 10 times, even the impossible will manifest for you, is not just a technique. It's about recognizing your true nature as a divine creative being. It's about aligning your entire being with the fundamental truth of who you are and allowing your grandest expression to flow through you. When you live from this understanding, everything changes. The world becomes a friendly place, filled with infinite possibilities. You no longer see yourself as a small, separate being struggling against impossible odds. Instead, you recognize yourself as the author of your own reality, the creator of your own miraculous life. In this state, there's no need to fear the impossible or doubt your ability to manifest your deepest desires. For you understand that you are the source of all creation in your experience. Your job is simply to maintain the consciousness of possibility through your repeated statements, to live from this awareness, and to allow the universe to arrange the details of its manifestation. So, my dear friends, as you leave here tonight, I urge you to embrace this principle with all your heart. Don't see it as a technique to be applied occasionally, but as a way of life to be lived continuously. Choose your statement wisely, one that embodies the essence of the impossible becoming possible for you. Repeat it 10 times each day, not just with your lips, but with your entire being. Feel the naturalness of being the divine, limitless being you truly are. Live from this state, persist in this knowing, and watch as your world rearranges itself to match your vision, making even the impossible manifest before your eyes.